What's going on, everybody? Thanks for tuning into the channel. This is Buck Nasty Cards. Today we're going to be looking at the 1990 to 91 inaugural edition of Skybox Basketball. Basically chasing Michael Jordan in this, the GOAT, and a few other legends from the past. So without further ado, let's get into it. Slide all this to the side here. Hopefully you guys' day has been good. So let's get into it. I'm going to have 15 cards in each one of these packs. I do have 28 packs, I believe. And I got these at a yard sale. And they are not the easiest to get into. There we go. But I am kind of excited to open these because I don't watch a lot of the newer basketball, like today's basketball, but I did watch a good bit back in the day. So we got Brad Lohaus, I guess is how you say his last name. Derek McKee, Seattle Supersonics. Tyrone Corbin, Rodney McRae, Frank Cornett. Oh, there's a legend there, Moses Malone. We got a Grant Long with the Heat. David Greenwood for the Pistons. Jerome Richardson on the Minnesota Timberwolves. Brad Davis, Dallas Mavericks. Reggie Lewis. Jeff Martin. Jerome Kersey. Tellis Frank. And Michael Ansley. You can tell these are older cards. It's got that classic look to them. Set that stack over here. We'll grab the next stack. See how we're doing. How we do in this pack here. Really hoping to get a couple of these MJ packs, or MJ cards out of these packs. John Stockton. That's another legend there. Jeff Grayer. Steve Johnson. Oh, I'm going to have to turn it over here. Charles Smith. I'm not going to try his last name, but Danny. John Koncak. Joe Klein. Byron Scott. Larry Nance. Yeah, nope. Stacey King. John Bagley. Yeah, no again. Tim Perry. AC Green. Brian Quinnett. And Danny Manning. So far, no MJ. Next pack. How you guys liking the playoffs right now? I think the Knicks are kind of shocking people, going up 2-0 on the Celtics. Think it's a fluke, or you think they hang on, take the series? All right, third pack. We got Jeff. Yeah, nope. Johnny Moore. Randy White. Kevin McHale. Checklist. John Paxson. Yeah, no. Bobby Hansen. Larry Smith. Bill Laimbeer. Isaiah Thomas. That's another legend. Nice card. Looks off a little top to bottom, but Larry and I can't say the last name. Danny Ferry. Tony Campbell. And Cliff Robinson. All right. Set these over here with the others. Go on to the next one. Fourth pack. How you guys like the backdrop? I don't have a whole lot of basketball cards, but I have 2 Shaq rookies and the MJ card back there in the back. All right, we got. Oh, this card's a little damaged. Bill Winnington. Xavier McDaniel. Another checklist. Dave Hoppen, Scott Hastings, Daryl Griffith, Vernon Maxwell, Dan Shays, Reggie Theus, Jay Humphreys, Sean Kemp, what could have been, Fred Roberts, Danny Young, Blair Rasmussen, and Rick Smiths. Wow, that card is damaged too. All right. So far, not doing so good. All right. Moving on. Let's set these over there. All right. We got Derek McKee, Paul Pressey. Yeah, that guy. Lafayette Lever, Otis Thorpe, Dale Curry. I bet a lot of people know somebody related to that guy. Chucky Brown. Oh, there he is. We got an MJ. Set him up here. Hopefully we get a couple more of those. Get one nice and centered. Send it out for grading maybe. Michael Smith. Cliff Livingston. George McLeod. Andrew Lang. Joe Wolf. Maurice Cheeks. Rolando Blackman. My bad. All right. That MJ there is off left to right. That one probably won't be getting seen. I'll use that to go along with the giveaway. If the channel grows a little, I do plan to do some giveaways. So Alexander Volkov, Tom Garrick, Wayne Cooper, Orlando Woolridge, Gerald Wilkins, Terry Porter, Steve Johnson, Tom Hammonds, Dennis Hobson, Horace Grant, Jeff Turner, Sean Elliott, Roy Tarpley, Tom Chambers, and another checklist. I'm going to need a checklist for all the checklists. And Richard Anderson. I love the look of the older vintage cards. All right. Let's get another MJ. All right, we got James Worthy, Derek McKee, Will Perdue, Purvis Short, Scott Brooks, Eddie Johnson, Zarko Paspolj, I don't know if that's how you say it, Herb Williams, Chris Mullen, another checklist, Bill Cartwright, Mike Schmreck, Eric Johnson, Ricky Green, and Tim Hardaway. Pulling some solid players though. Can't complain. Of course, like I said, I know a lot more of these older guys than I do the newer players. I just know the big name players now. All right, we got Winston Bennett, Steve Kerr, Magic. I'm going to put him on stand too. Magic Johnson. Slide these over. Get old Magic up here beside Jordan. Brian Rossum. Kenny Smith. Mike Sanders. Mike McGee. Larry Drew. Johnny Newman. Bernard King. Dana Barros, Mark Larry, Lester Connor, Sidney Green, Mike Gminski. Totally guessing on that. Hopefully I said it right. If you know, let me know. All right, next pack. I'm slowly making a dent in them. All right, what do we got here? Todd Lichty, Mitchell Wiggins, Ken Norman, Tim Kempton, Dennis Rodman, pre-Bulls days. I'll just throw him up on one too. I actually know who he is. So Tyrone Bogues, Muggsy. I like Muggsy. He's a shorter guy, kind of like me. We're gonna throw Muggsy on the stand. We got Glenn Rivers, Dyron Nix, Dan, don't know, Vlade Divac, Stuart Gray, Joe Dumars, David Wingate, Delaney Rudd, Sam Bowie. Pretty sure this is a guy that was drafted before Michael Jordan. Wonder how they feel about that now. All right, I'll slide these over. Give me a little more room for some stands, because I think we're going to pull something else nice out of here. Maybe another one of these big guys we got up already. Wouldn't mind that at all. All right. Let's see, what do we got here? Got a Sidney Green. Mike Gminski again. Wayman Tisdale. Steve Alford. Jeff Malone. Mark Price. Michael Holton. Vinnie Johnson. Sedale Threat. Kelvin Upshaw. Mark Bryant. Mitch Richmond. Yeah, that guy, John something. Dana Barros. And Donald Royal. Okay, moving on. Try to go through some of these a little quicker now that we've seen what the cards look like, and trying to get through it. I don't want this video to be 6 hours long. And I got 28 packs, so. All right, Tim Perry, AC Green, Brian Quinnett, Danny Manning, Michael Cage, Steve Coulter, Derek Gervin, Jerry Reynolds, Hershey Hawkins, Willie Anderson, Adrian Dantley, Patrick Ewing. That's another one I'll put on the stand in just a second. Brad Sellers, Michael Williams, Manute Bowl, Thurl Bailey. All right, let's see. Let's stick these up here. Slide these a little bit over. Just stand up for Patrick. Mr. Ewing here. If I can get him up without tearing up the card. All right. Get into the next pack here. You guys into basketball, or do you guys prefer football? I'm more of a football guy, to be honest, but I like all sports. Dwayne Farrell, John Saley, Gerald Henderson, Kevin Johnson, Brad Daugherty, Dennis Johnson, Ron Harper, Byron Irving, Sherman Douglas, Nick Anderson, Alvin Robinson, Danny Ferry, John Williams, Pete Myers, and Ron Anderson. All right, moving on. Oh, come on. I do apologize. It's been quite quite a while since I uploaded a video, but you guys know how life can get in the way sometimes. Tyrone Corbin, Rodney McCray, Frank Cornett, Moses Malone again, Grant Long, David Greenwood, Jerome Richardson, Brad Davis, Reggie Lewis, Jeff Martin, Jerome Kersey, Tellis Frank, Michael Ansley, and James Worthy. Stick those over here. Keep going. All right, next pack. All right, Derek McKee, Will Perdue, Purvis Short, Scott Brooks, Eddie Johnson, Zarko Paulge, Herb Williams, Chris Mullen, another checklist, Bill Cartwright, Mike Schmreck, Eric Johnson, Ricky Green, Tim Hardaway, and Dominique Wilkins. Pretty sure I've pulled that exact pack already. Move on. Kind of surprised ain't none of these been bricked up yet, but they've all been nice packs. Wayman Tisdale, Steve Alford, Jeff Malone, Mark Price, Michael Holton, Vinnie Johnson, Sadell Threat, Kelvin Upshaw, Mark Bryant, Mitch Richmond. Ooh, that card's got some damage to it. Look at those paint. The color's gone. Dana Barros. Flip it over. Donald Royal. Purvis Ellison. And Glenn Rice. All right, stick these there. Moving on. So leave it in the comments. You guys think MJ's still the GOAT, or are you guys some of the ones who think LeBron taking over, or maybe a Kobe guy? I won't argue with Kobe too much. Liddell Eccles, Jack Haley, Scott Skiles, Derek Smith. Yeah, that guy. Uwe Blob, I'm guessing, or Blab. James Donaldson, Mark Eaton, Rick Mahorn, BJ Armstrong, Jim Peterson, Mike Brown, Adrian Caldwell, Mark Jackson. I think I have his card with the Menendez brothers in the background. I think that's him. There's Pippen, the best number 2 in the game, and Greg Anderson. Put Pippen up on the stand in just a second. Slide these out of the way. Give me another little stand here. Put old Pippen up. Hopefully he's still in the scene. You guys can see him. All right. Keep it moving here. All right. We got Anthony Bowie, Jack Sikma, J.R. Reed, Billy Thompson, Michael Cage, of course, flip it over, Todd Murphy, Vinny Del Negro, Kiki, I don't know, Alphabet, Vern Fleming, Charles Jones, Walter Davis, David Robinson. That's another one that is stand-worthy. We'll kind of set that like that. Armand Gilliam, Alexander Volkov, Tom Garrick, Wayne Cooper, and Orlando Woolridge. Get that there. So we're going to have to set these kind of up front a little bit here now. I don't want to block them too much. There we go. And then let's just see. I think we're about to do another Jordan. I think I done about pulled all the other cards 2 or 3 times. All right, what do we got? Dominique Wilkins, Brad Lohaus, Derek McKee. Flipping over. Paul Pressey. Drazen Petrovic. Lafayette Lever. Otis Thorpe. Dale Curry again. Chucky Brown. Hey, called my shot. There's a second Jordan. Stick him with that one. Michael Smith. Cliff Livingston. George McLeod. Andrew Lang. And Joe Wolf. So these over here. I know these Jordan cards aren't that valuable, but during the pandemic, the value of them skyrocketed. And I was at a yard sale and happened to see these. They were in the original box, but the box was all damaged and tore. So I took the box and went ahead and just trashed it. We've got Ralph Sampson, John Morton. Hey, there's Larry. Stick him up on a stand. Craig Ello, Brian Shaw, Mark Aguirre, Olden Polynice, Tom Tolbert, Theodore Edwards, Robert Parrish, Ed Neely, David Wingate, Sam Mitchell, Greg Kite, Rory Sparrow. All right. I'm using more stands than I thought I would use. We can't hide Jordan. That's who we were after, so got to keep him where you can see him. All right, guys, we're getting close to the bottom. We got but a few more packs left over here. Let's just keep going. All right, what do we got here? Gerald Wilkins, Terry Porter, Steve Johnson, Tom Hammonds, Dennis Hobson, Horace Grant, Jeff Turner, Sean Elliott, Roy Tarpley, Tom Chambers, another checklist, Richard Anderson, James Edwards, Jeff Sanders, Buck Johnson, and Alex English. Not gonna lie, didn't know too many in that one pack. I'm not gonna lie, I wouldn't mind getting one, maybe one or two more of Jordan. That way I got a few to look through to decide if I want to send any of them out. All right, this one we've got Rod Strickland, Eric Lechner, Mookie Blaylock, Terry Catledge, Leonard Copeland, Harold Presley, Paul McKeskey, Charles Barkley, Chuck, Rex Chapman, John Long, Jerome Lane, Nate McMillan, Terry Teagle, Sam Perkins, Charles Oakley, Scott Hafner, Rod Strickland. You know we got to put Chuck up on the stand. I don't know where I'm going to put him though. Slide Larry over and sit Chuck here. All right. That's a young Chuck. All right, who do we got now? Roy Henson, Otis Smith, Bob Thornton, Frank Brakowski, last name of Brick, Anthony Jones, Terry Cummings, another checklist, Anthony Webb, William Bedford, Michael Adams, Eric Floyd, Derek Harper, Chuck Person, Ben Coleman, Dale Ellis. All right, next pack. Sorry this video is so long, guys, but it's 28 packs, so keep going till we're done. James Edwards, Jeff Sanders, Buck Johnson, Alex English, John Stockton, Jeff Grayer, Steve Johnson, over, Charles Smith, Danny Ang, John Konkak, Joe Klein, Byron Scott, Larry Nance, Ronnie Cayley, Stacey King, John Bagley, Detlef, yeah, that guy. And I think we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 packs left. This will make 4 after this one. I appreciate you guys sticking with me if you're still here. You know, this channel is very, very new, but I do appreciate everybody who subscribed, and hopefully if you're watching, you will subscribe if you're not already. We've got Ben Coleman, Dale Ellis, flip it over, Randy Brewer, Randy Allen, Craig Hodges, Ed Pickney, Kevin Edwards, Wayne Rollins, Ricky Pierce, John Williams, Kevin Gamble, Benjamin, Kurt Rambis, Mark McNamara, and Trent Tucker. All right. 4 left. Bear with me just a few more minutes. And you don't have to hear me no more today. Reggie Miller. That's another one that'll be stand worthy. Quentin Daly. Liddell Eccles. Jack Haley. Scott Skiles. Derek Smith. Yeah, that guy again. James Donaldson. Mark Eaton. Rick Mahorn. BJ Armstrong. Jim Peterson. Mike Brown. Adrian Caldwell. And Mark Jackson. Menendez brother guy. All right. 3 packs. 3 packs. This one, 2 more. Might get this done in under 30. Maybe. All right. What do we got? Maurice Cheeks. Ronaldo Blackman. Rod Strickland. Eric Lechner. Mookie Blaylock. Terry Catledge. Leonard Copeland. Harold Presley. Mark McKeskey. Paul McKeskey. Charles Barkley. Put it in there. Rex Chapman. John Long. Jerome Lane. Nate McMillan. And Terry T. Oh, shoot. I'm sorry, Reggie. I didn't put you on a stand. Right here. Okay. All right. 1 more after this, guys. Got some damage on these cards. LaSalle Thompson. Michael Cooper. Joe Barry Carroll. Clyde Drexler. Clyde the Glide. Kelly Trapuka. Kevin Willis. Gary Grant. Kevin Duckworth. Terry Davis. Mark Akers. Buck Williams. Sean Kemp. Darrell Walker. Chris Morris. And Sam Vincent. Okay. And last pack, guys. Last pack mojo for 1 more Jordan. Let's hope so. But we shall find out. All right. So we got Blair Rasmussen, Rick Smits, Winston Bennett, Steve Kerr, Magic Johnson again. I haven't seen Jordan in any packs with Magic, so I'm not guessing we're gonna get another Jordan. So Brian Rossum, Kenny Smith, Mike Sanders, Mike McGee, Larry Drew, Johnny Newman, Bernard King, Dana Barros, Mark Larry, and Lester Connor. Well, all right, guys. That's it for these packs of the 1990 to 91 Inaugural Edition Skybox. We did get a good little bit. We do have 2 Jordans. The one on the right looks a little more centered. So if I had to choose, I would probably send this one, but it does have some pack dust on it that need to be wiped off and cleaned down. but we did get 2 of them, so pretty happy with that. We got 2 of the Magic Johnsons. Got a Muggsy. We did get a Reggie. So he's a big name. Got a David Robinson. We also got the Scottie Pippen. A Patrick Ewing. And a Dennis Rodman back on the Pistons. I believe that's it. Got 2 Charles Barkley, 2 Chucks. And Clyde Drexler and a Larry Bird. But I do appreciate you guys sticking with me through all this. We are just over 30 minutes. Like, comment, subscribe. And if you guys have any recommendations on videos you'd like to see or products you'd like to see open, please leave it in the comments. And also like to give a shout out to my buddy over at Broke House Breaks for his continued support of the channel. One of the Jordans will be yours, buddy. And I've also got another surprise coming for you. But thanks again for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. And we'll see you in the next one. Thanks.